Report story. Hi, guys, it's Anime Fan 299,110 with the latest chapter of Family Matters. Sorry it took longer to publish this one, but with everything that's been happening in the world and with my personal life, I've been lacking some of that writing juice. So, as per usual, I do not own Boku no Hero Academia, its characters, or its locations. They are all owned by Kohei Horikoshi, Jump Comics, and Funimation. Now, here is the newest chapter of Family Matters. Midoriya and Uraraka both flopped on the couch in exhaustion. The stress of being a second year was starting to get to them. In addition to the gratuitous amount of homework, the training exercises were also becoming more rigorous and more dangerous. Izuku almost got himself injured from falling debris, while Uraraka got a sprained ankle from running away from a giant stone boulder. Rough day, huh? The couple turned to see Jiro looking at them with intrigue. You have no idea, Uraraka said. Aizawa and the other teachers are running us ragged with hero training and schoolwork. You should check out Jamming Ye over here, the earphone jack user said, pointing towards Kaminari, who was curled up on the floor and rocking back and forth. He's been like that ever since we've been assigned extra work. Can't really blame him, Midoriya said. And on top of everything else, we also have to come back and take care of Eri. Sorry, Papa, Eri said worriedly. I didn't mean to make you or Mama sad or upset. It's okay, Eri, Midoriya said as he smiled and rubbed Eri's hair. We're not upset with you or anything. Mama and I are just exhausted. I have an idea, Toru chimed in. Why don't you two have a night off? It'll be like a date. A date? Uraraka asked with a raised eyebrow. But we went on a date a couple months ago. Well, technically, that was a fake date that Eri and I set you up on, Mina said. You should go out on an actual date. You know, just to have fun. Uraraka contemplated. It would be nice to get a break from all this craziness. What do you think, Deku? She asked, turning to her boyfriend. Sure, he said with a squeak. I would like that. When are you next available? I think I'm free this Friday. Friday it is, then. The days flew by after that, and the two lovers soon found themselves changing into civilian clothes on Friday. Midoriya was wearing tan khaki pants, a white t-shirt, and a checkered flannel shirt. In addition, he wore his signature red sneakers. Uraraka, meanwhile, decided to wear a black t-shirt, denim shorts, and a pink long-sleeved shirt. She also wore blue sneakers. When she came downstairs, Midoriya was once again awestruck by how beautiful Uraraka was, even if she was wearing casual clothes. You look nice, he said. Why you as well, Uraraka said as her cheeks turned bright pink. For a few minutes, they stood in total silence as their classmates smiled at the sight before them. Are you two morons going to do this every time you go out on a date? Bakugo yelled in frustration. Right, Uraraka said before grabbing her purse. Now listen, there's plenty of leftovers in the fridge, so no takeout. Bedtime is at 8 p.m., and if Eri is going to watch a movie, no scary stuff. Iida saluted to indicate that he understood the instructions. Promoted stories. You'll also like My Hero Academia. From the ground up 81.1K 1.8K alternate. Universe where Izuku Midoriya and Ochako Uraraka grew up together. Got to fourth in the childhood friends tag. Future hero Izumina 30.9K 423 characters. Aren't mine? Izumina is the best ship ever. Takes place after the school trip. Also, 1A is already living in dorms. Disclaimer. The story is not same as in M. Marikai, Aizawa and Eri X Girl. Reader fanfic 144K 4.8K completed. Virtual. An underground pro-hero with a quirk similar to that of telepathy but can transmit a whole scenario into someone's mind. Through the years, she's only the NHA asterisk boyfriend scenarios asterisk PT 2148K 2.6K 4. All you newcomers, here's part 1. For the rest of you, let's go. The teacher's daughter, class 1AX Aizawa. Re. 0.316K 8.1K COMPLETED started. November 9, 2019 ended. January 17, 2020 edited by CatX Cat 321 Class 1A get targeted by unknown villains, not LOV, and are forced to stay at the Izuku X Ochako MHA fanfic 300K 3.5K when Izuku and Ochako are paired up for a school project, they end up growing a little bit closer than they expected. Tilde plus tilde other ships will be hinted at PG-13 content. One more thing, Midoriya said before shooting a look at both Eri and Mina, we better not find you two stalking us like you did on Valentine's Day. Don't worry you two, Kirishima chimed in casually, if they try anything, we'll handcuff them to the table. I'm kidding, he added quickly as Uraraka and Midoriya both glared at him. We'll only do that to Mina. Eri will just sit in the timeout corner. Right, Uraraka said, though she still murderously glared daggers at the redhead. Well, we better get going. Be good, sweetie. I will, Mama, Eri said as Uraraka and Midoriya both gave her hugs and a peck on each cheek. Have fun with Papa. Uraraka and Midoriya smiled as they left Alliance Heights. As soon as they left, Mina asked, so, who wants to watch cartoons? I do, I do, Eri exclaimed excitedly. Dash 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 dot. So, Uraraka said when they were outside, where do we go to first? I did some research last night and found this restaurant close by that serves local and casual cuisine. I heard they serve mochi for dessert. Midoriya said, smiling at the excited look on his girlfriend's face. I take it you want to go there. Yes, Uraraka said, nodding her head excitedly. She then took Midoriya's hand as they began walking towards their destination. She smiled at him, which he returned. They really had come a long way since they started at UA. A year ago, they were just friends who were determined to become great heroes. Now they were in their second year, continuing with their dreams, dating, and practically raising a kid. Funny how life works like that. They both thought. 20 minutes later, they arrived at the restaurant. The aroma of meats and vegetables flowed through the air, causing Midoriya to sigh peacefully and Uraraka's mouth to water. They went and were seated at a table, where they were handed their menus. So what should I get? Uraraka asked. Ooh, this gyudon looks absolutely delicious. What are you going to get? Izuku. She looked at her boyfriend in confusion. He was looking at his phone and twiddling his fingers nervously. Izuku, are you okay? Huh? Midoriya asked. Oh right. Sorry Ochako. He picked up his menu and looked through it no less than 10 seconds in. He began tapping his foot. You know, maybe we should call Iida just to call Iida just to see how Eri is doing. Let me just get my Izuku. Uraraka said firmly. It's okay. Iida and the others can take care of her. Tonight's our night to relax. You're right, Midoriya said, scratching the back of his head sheepishly. I'll just get the Katsudon then. 20 minutes later, their meals were brought to them. Midoriya smiled at the sight of his pork sizzling over the rice, while Uraraka eyed her steak with glee. Using her chopsticks, Uraraka picked up a piece of the steak and ate it. Her eyes widened when the juicy meat and the spices hit her taste buds. Wow, this is really good. She picked up another piece. Hey, Deku, you wanna try it? Huh? Midoriya asked. It took him a few seconds to remember what she had asked. Sure, Uraraka. He leaned forward across the table and took a bite from Uraraka's outstretched chopsticks. Wow, he said after swallowing, that is really good. He picked up a piece of his own meal. Do you want one as well, Uraraka? Sure. She exclaimed. Uraraka opened her mouth and bit down on the slice of pork that was between Midoriya's chopsticks. She chewed on it slowly with closed eyes. Wow, that's delicious. They spent the next few minutes enjoying their meals, chatting and laughing with each other. Soon, their bowls were empty and Uraraka got to enjoy some delicious mochi. Of course, she decided to share some with Midoriya. Boy, Uraraka said after eating the last one, that really hit the spot. Where to next? I was thinking we could walk around Tokyo for a bit. Midoriya suggested. It'd be a good way to burn off the food we just ate. Great idea, Izuku. Uraraka said. The two then paid for their meal and left. Iida sighed as he loomed over his Japanese history book. Most of his other classmates were upstairs in their dorm rooms, either studying or relaxing. The class president smiled. It was a good night overall. Despite a few mishaps from Mineta and Kaminari, the students behaved themselves as best they could. Eri herself was on her best behavior, accepting what she ate and not complaining when it was time for her to go to bed. As of now, the little girl was asleep in Midoriya's room with the door slightly ajar. Class 1A agreed to rotate checking up on her to make sure she was okay. The sound of the main door opening caused Iida to look up from his studies. Ah, Asui, he said, glad to see you're back from nightly training. It's your turn to check on Eri, correct? Yep, Suyu said, I'll see you in a bit. The rainy season hero then walked up the stairs to the second floor, where she saw the cracked door. She peeked in to see the little girl sleeping peacefully in her bed. She then entered the room and closed the door ever so slightly. All right then, she thought as her skin melted and a toothy grin grew on her face, let's get this over with. Meanwhile, Iida had resumed his reading when he heard the main door opening again. He looked up and was confused when he saw Suyu walk in. Suyu? He asked. What are you doing? What do you mean? Suyu asked in equal confusion. I just finished my night training and I was going to check on Eri. But I just saw you go upstairs. Iida said, pointing up the stairs. How were you able to be? Ah. The sound of Hagakuri's scream caused Suyu and Iida to dash up to the second floor. They arrived on the landing to find her on the floor in front of Midoriya's room, her body shaking. Iida raced over and his face paled at what he saw inside his friend's room. Oh no. Meanwhile, Midoriya and Uraraka were enjoying a walk through downtown Tokyo. The air was cool and the temperature dropped a little, so Midoriya had draped his coat over Uraraka's shoulders. It sure is beautiful tonight, isn't it? She asked as she gazed up at the full moon. Very beautiful, indeed, Midoriya agreed. Though he was looking at her when he said it, she glanced over and as she met his gaze, time seemed to stand still. Midoriya gulped as he gazed into Uraraka's beautiful chocolate eyes, while Uraraka smiled as she looked at Midoriya's adorable freckles. They slowly closed their eyes as they leaned in to kiss. Ping. The two moved away as both their phones went off. They turned them on and saw the same message from Aizawa. Get back to the dorms, now. The couple looked at each other with concern. I hope nothing's wrong, Uraraka said. We better get back to make sure. Midoriya stated. He then picked Uraraka up and let one for all course through his veins into his feet. With a boost, he leapt into the air with Uraraka clinging to his neck tightly. The wind whipped their faces as the lights of the city flashed by. Midoriya swore he saw his girlfriend look at him with worry, but he had to focus as they continued to leap across rooftops. When they landed near Alliance Heights, what they saw caused their eyes to widen. The building was surrounded by not just their classmates and their teachers, but the police as well. Several of them were talking to their classmates, while the teachers were talking amongst themselves. What happened here? Uraraka, problem child, Aizawa said, walking toward them. Glad you both got my text. There's been an incident. As Aizawa talked, Midoriya glanced around at his classmates. None of them seemed to be hurt, but most of them were pale, as if they were worried about something. It was then that a thought crossed his mind. Mr. Aizawa, he asked, trying to act as calmly as he could, where's Eri? Aizawa was silent for a minute before he said, look, what I need you both to do is to calm. Midoriya didn't let him finish. He and Uraraka bolted past him and everyone else into the dormitory. He could have sworn he heard Iida and Aizawa calling after them, but he drowned them out as he made his way up the stairs. When he and Uraraka reached his room, both froze in shock at what they saw. The room was in disarray. Midoriya's All Might posters and figurines were damaged beyond repair, the beds were ripped open, and the desk was ransacked. Even Eri's Deku doll was torn apart. A rustling caused them to look up to see the sliding glass door was open. It was how the perpetrator got out. I'm sorry, Midoriya, Iida said solemnly. We didn't know she had been kidnapped until it was too late. Ring ring. The sound of Midoriya's phone ringing broke the silence. He picked it up to see that it was an unknown caller. He hit the call button and asked, hello. Izuku Midoriya. A male voice said on the other line, it's been a while, hasn't it? Midoriya clenched the phone in shock and anger as he recognized the voice. Shinobu Noshimori. I'm so glad you still remember me. Noshimori said with a cocky tone. I bet you're wondering why I was calling. You see, the most interesting thing just happened to me today. It would seem that what I've wanted to since November has come back to me. There was a rustling sound as if Noshimori was moving the phone. Then Uraraka and Midoriya's hearts sank as they heard a scared child sniffling as she asked, "Mama. Papa." Eri, Midoriya asked, his hand shaking with rage. "How? Noshimori, how did you kidnap her?" Noshimori only laughed as he said, "Let's just say I've been in contact with some associates." "Hi Deku," a sickeningly familiar voice said, "it's been a while. You two should have taken my offer." Noshimori said, "Now I've got what I want and I get to keep my money. Oh, and I came up with a plan in case you two try to come find me. I decided to get my dear granddaughter a charming little neck accessory. All I have to do is press a little button and, well, I'll leave the rest to your imaginations." And with that, the Yakuza mob boss hung up. Midoriya brought his phone from his face to his side as he stared blankly. He couldn't believe it. After everything they went through to rescue Eri, she had been kidnapped by her own grandfather. The idea that he would endanger his own granddaughter, coupled with Uraraka's sobs, caused Midoriya to grit his teeth and crush his cell phone with his bare hands. GRRRAHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHHYou thought it was Anime Fan who wrote this chapter. But it was I. D. Dio.X has been erased from existence. No, I am not doing that meme here. Anyways, surprise. I bet you weren't expecting that ending, were you? Again. So sorry that it took so long to publish it. I hope you still enjoyed it. If you did, please like and comment. And if you want to see if Izuku and Ochako do save Eri, be sure to follow as well. Hopefully the next chapter will come out quicker. Until then, this is Anime Fan 299,110 encouraging you all to go beyond. Plus. Ultra, where stories live. Discover now.